Hey, Douglas Township, Chris Englebert with Englebert Financial Advisers in Allentown, Pennsylvania, with a very special presentation today. We are excited to get you as a new client for the 457 plan for Douglas Township. And we're doing this video to show you how to sign up, show you what to invest in, and how to do everything as far as a 457 plan goes. But let me tell you a little bit about ourselves first. We're Englebert Financial Advisers, like I said, in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And there's three of us that work here. We have our president, Jamie Englebert, myself, Chris Englebert, and our client assistant, Tyler Giovrelli. The three of us are who you're going to be dealing with and talking to if you have any problems signing up for your 457 plan or have any questions about your 457 plan. So let's talk about what a 457 plan is. So basically a 457 plan is for municipalities. If you were in a private sector company, you'd have a 401k plan. If you were at a hospital or if you were a teacher, you'd have a 403b plan. So you have a 457 plan, which is what they call a deferred comp or a salary reduction plan. It doesn't really matter that way. But what's really important about it is it's the number one way for you to save on your taxes. So let's just say you make $50,000 a year, and through payroll deduction, you decide to put $2,000 into your 457 plan. Well, what would then end up happening is that your W-2 every year would show $48,000. So if you made $50,000, you put $2,000 in your 457 plan, your W-2 would show $48,000. It's a way to defer a percentage of your income into a tax deferred account. Now, the biggest difference between a 457 plan and an IRA is the amount that you can defer in each one of them. So next year in 2023, the contribution limits change for IRAs. You'll be able to put $6,500 in if you're under the age of 50. You'll be able to put $7,500 in if you're over the age of 50. But again, when you do an IRA, it is not a payroll deduction. You actually have to write a check out and contribute to the IRA. What's beautiful about a 457 plan is its payroll deduction, and the limits are much more. If you're under the age of 50, next year you're going to be able to put $22,500 in. If you're over the age of 50, you'll be able to put $30,000 in to a 457 plan. So again, it's a way to have a payroll deduction plan and be able to have money put into a retirement account for you. Now, why would you participate in a 457 plan? You heard me talk about it previously. It helps you save on taxes, but the other reason is your pension may not be enough. If you're a non-uniform or a police officer, you get a defined benefit pension, but really what's happening out there is people are living much longer. The average actuarial age for women is 87, for men is 86. Why do men die a year earlier? Because they want to. Usually I get a big laugh out of that. But the most important point is that you can retire in your mid-60s and literally live another 20 to 25 years. So one of the things that we try to emphasize to people is that even if you get a defined benefit pension, you should be socking money away in a 457 plan because number one, it helps you save on taxes. But number two, you create a pot of money that you're going to have that you're going to be able to draw on in addition to your pension. So one of the other things you have to remember about a 457 plan is you can sign up at any time throughout the year. So again, we're going to be at your township doing an in-person meeting, but we're doing this video that if you want to, again, you can sign up at any time throughout the year. You don't have to sign up literally the day that we're there. So how do you get started? You're going to be getting a packet that has an enrollment form in it. The enrollment form is a couple of pages. At the top of the enrollment form is basically name, rank, and serial number as far as information that you're going to put in there. The second thing that you're going to want to do is decide how much you want to contribute from each pay. So again, obviously, we've retired many people over our career in our practice, and everybody basically says the same thing when they retire is, wow, I wish I would have saved more. If you could afford to put 3 to 5% of your annual salary into a 457 plan, you're doing pretty good. So again, I'm going to use that example. If you're making $50,000 a year and you put 3% into a 457 plan, you're putting about $1,500 away. If you're putting in 5%, you're putting in about $2,500. But again, look at it as a percentage of how much you're making. Now, if you work a lot of overtime, for example, if you're a police officer, if you're a road crew, and you're out there plowing snow, etc., I would suggest doing a percentage, because then any overtime that you do, the percentage of the overtime goes into the 457 plan as well. If you're on a budget, you can do a fixed amount, $25, $50 a pay, whatever you feel comfortable with. The other thing that you got to remember about a 457 plan is you can change how much you put in at just about any time. Now, obviously, if you were changing every pay period, your finance director would get a little upset about that. But let's say, for example, you start out putting, say, 7% into your 457 plan, and after 3 or 4 months, that's a little bit too tight. You could back it down to 5% if you wanted to. However, I've never really seen a situation where people have said, hey, I'm not saving enough. They always are saying, I wish I would have saved more. One of the other items that's in your packet is a beneficiary form. If you're married, put down your spouse. If you don't know her social security number, don't worry about it, his or her social security number, but just put down the name and put down the spouse. Typically, I don't suggest putting down contingent beneficiaries because you should have a will. I hope you have a will. So if you're married and you have a couple of kids, put down your spouse as your beneficiary and then make sure you have a will. You can put down contingent beneficiaries if you want. The other thing that we want to talk about, and this is where people really kind of bogged down in a 457 plan, is they're like, hey, this is a great, plan. I want to put some money into it, help save for retirement. But wow, you've got all these different funds. And you can see by our fund lineup on the sheet, we have a good mix of both active and index funds from Vanguard. And if you're really into investing, you can put down a percentage of the individual funds that you want. If you favor equities or stocks over bonds, you can put down your own percentage and you can drive the bus yourself. However, we have something we believe is extremely cutting edge. We offer different investment models. We offer investment models from mild to wild. So say, for example, you're much younger and you have 25 or 30 years to work, you're probably going to be an aggressive model or 90-10 model. So when you see the models, they say EFA 30-70, 60-40, 90-10. That's how much stocks versus bonds you have. If you're very conservative, you might have 30% of your money in the EFA 30-70. If you're more moderate, let's say you have 10 years to retirement, you may be in the 60-40. If you're if you have a longer term retirement and you want to be even more aggressive, you can be in the 90-10. But what's really cool about our models is that we take all the funds that you see on this page and we put them through a computer program. And what we do is we determine which are the best performing models, best performing funds to put in the models. We then rebalance these models literally on a quarterly basis. We just got done in November. The next one will be February, and then we do May, and then we do August. So it's a way to have your 457 managed for you and have somebody help you select out of all the funds which ones you want to be. Now, I would suggest maybe having 50 or 60% of your funds in one of the models like the 60-40 or 90-10. But the other thing that we offer is we offer 2 additional models. We offer our First Trust Focus 5. This is the 5 hottest sectors in the stock market. In 2022, this model is actually turning positive for the year in a down stock market because 2 of the sectors that it's in are in energy. And so this model, what it does is there's about 30 different sectors in the stock market, and it focuses on those 5 strongest sectors, and that's where it invests the money. A couple of years ago, it was all about technology. It kicked technology out, overweighted energy. It'll be very interesting to see where it goes in 2023. So if you're looking to have a pretty well-rounded investment plan, you might want to put 50 or 60% of your money in the EFA 60-40. You might want to put 20% of your money in the Focus 5 model, and then you might want to put 20%, everything's got to add up to 100, in the tactical model. The tactical model this year is actually positive because what the tactical model does is goes from cash to stocks to bonds. So entering into 2022, the tactical model was 100% in safe money market funds. Stock market rolled over, went down in June, had a nice rally through August, rolled over again in September and October. The tactical model then got into the stock market and was about 75% in the stock market up until about a couple of weeks ago in mid-November. It then backed down the risk. Now, I wouldn't put 100% of your money in the tactical because, again, the tactical is really designed to kind of keep some guardrails going as far as what you're doing from an investment strategy standpoint. But I really think the perfect mix is to have about 50 or 60% of your money in either the 30-70, 60-40, 90-10 models, and then have 20-25% in the Focus 5 or 20-25% and 20-25% in the tactical. So that means you would have 3 models. Anything more than that, you're actually kind of getting over diversified, but I think that gives you a very good idea as far as what you want to do. Now, because you're starting out, one of the things I suggest when we're starting up a new plan and people are first putting their money into the plan, I suggest that they be as aggressive as possible, because what's happening is you're putting away a much smaller amount of money. And until you get to about 15, 20, 25,000 in your 457 plan, maybe you want to be as aggressive as possible, because obviously if you have $2,000 in your 457 plan and your 457 plan goes down 20%, you're literally only down about $400. But if the markets go up 25, 30%, you're obviously able to get ahead of the ball game. So again, one of the other things that we do, and you're going to see at the end of this presentation as we offer our contact information, is that if you want to talk to us about your individual situation, please feel free to talk to us and reach out, because we consider each and every one of you participants as a client now, and we'd be happy to discuss what's going on in your personal life. You may want to have this account be extremely conservative, extremely aggressive, all depending upon what's going on in your personal life. So talk about some advanced concepts here. So one of the things that this 457 plan offers is it offers a Roth option. There's a lot of information out there on the internet about Roth versus traditional IRAs, Roth 457s versus traditional 457s. I typically tell people we have what's called a 25 and 25 rule. What I mean by that is that if you're less than the age of 25 and you're making less than $25,000 a year, go ahead and do the Roth option. You are in such a low tax bracket at that particular time. Let's say you're starting out at the Township and you're obviously under the age of 25. Your tax bracket is so low that the Roth option makes a lot of sense. But for literally 98% of the people out there, the traditional 457 pre-tax option is going to be the way to fly, because the tax savings is going to be very important to you. And just to show you or give you a rule of thumb is that if you put $1,000 a year into your 457 plan, you're saving about $250. So I always tell people, when you go to do your taxes or have your taxes done on April 15th, and if you've got to write a check for $1,000 to the IRS, maybe you want to bump up the amount of money that you're putting in your 457 plan, because again, for every $1,000 you put into a 457 plan, you are going to save about $250 in taxes. The other thing you might want to consider doing is cashing in vacation and sick time. Many times in a law enforcement community, you're allowed to cash in your sick time at the end of the year. And we have numerous townships where the police officers take that lump sum and they put it right in the 457 plan. Because again, if you get that lump sum paid out to you in one big check, typically that goes through the payroll grids, and you can pay as much as 50% of that back to the government in taxes. So a lot of times what we do is we counsel people that if you're cashing in sick or vacation time, it's better from a tax saving standpoint to literally put that in your 457 plan. And then at retirement, remember, all roads lead to an IRA. Then at retirement, you're going to roll this 457 plan over to an IRA. If you would ever leave the township for any reason, you will also be able to roll over this money to an IRA. Now, let me talk about some things that you can do. You cannot transfer, if you have a 401k now from your previous job or a 403b, you can't transfer those to a 457. If you worked at another township and you had a 457 plan there, you can transfer that to this 457 plan. So you can go 457 to 457. You can't go 401k, 403b to 457. If you leave the township, you can roll this money over to an IRA, or if you go to another township, you could also transfer this money to their 457 plan. So again, this is the money that you're putting away pre-tax, and it's a great way to save on your taxes. So how do we do 457 plans? To wrap it up here, we're what's called a 338 fiduciary. We have to make sure the funds in the 457 plan meet some certain criteria. You have direct access to our team. Again, I'm going to give you some contact information in a minute. We try to make sure that we use low-cost funds and ETFs for your 457 plan. And then we offer guidance, and that's the big thing. I talked about that before, but if you have any questions on whether you should be in the 457 plan or how it operates, feel free to reach out to you. We are very sophisticated in how we talk to you. You're seeing this video right now. We are constantly doing videos. Expect to get a video at least once or twice a month on updates as far as what's happening in the stock market, updates on what's happening in your 457. We have an app for your smartphone. So one of the things you can do is by texting Chris E, C-H-R-I-S-E, to 36260, you can download my app. So one of the advantages of downloading my app is, besides having my face on your phone, which may or may not be an advantage, but by having my app on your phone, you will be able to access your 457 plan and take a look and see what it's doing. The other thing on my app is that you'll have very good ways to contact us. We give out our cell phone number. You can call me on my cell phone. You can text me, hey, Chris, can you take a look at my 457 plan? You can also access the videos that we do on a weekly basis, or you can call our office or email us. So when you call us, you actually get Chris, Jamie, or Tyler answering your questions, helping you out, how to sign up, how to enroll, and how to take care of yourself in your 457 plan. So that's a 457 plan for Douglas Township in a nutshell. We really appreciate, we're excited to have you guys as clients, and we look forward to working with you in the future. We'll be talking to you soon.